takeaways from the last game against Florida?
You know, we were right there in the first half, down 5 at halftime, playing without Xavier, who I disciplined for one game and sat him out. He was back in practice yesterday. So we were a guy short there that normally plays, you know, a lot of minutes for it at the 4, so we were a little short-handed because we were playing Q at the 4 because of the matchups. You know, they played small at times, but my takeaway, number one, Florida is really good. You know, I've watched that tape twice. I'm watching edits. We're going to watch some of the edits today with the team. But, you know, we had a 3-point game at 38-35 with 15 minutes and some change left in the game, and we made a mental mistake defensively where we didn't switch, and Chioza hits a wide open 3, and then we came down and took a bad shot on one pass, and then he comes down and makes a 4-point play, and it goes from 3 to 10 in a matter of seconds. And that's what our team, you know, has got to learn in the decisions. Every little thing matters. And then our offense really sputtered in the second half. First half, both teams were 12 for 28 from the field. The difference in the first half was Kulikov. I mean, the guy is a really good player and had 17 points at halftime. He only had 6 in the second half. But I thought Chioza really took over the second half, didn't start the first 3 minutes, and then the second half, you know, he had a bunch of assists. Those 2 big threes that really, you know, broke it up into a double-figure game, and we never really got close from that point forward. And obviously, Eric being in foul trouble also bothered us a lot because we're a short man. And, you know, Keyshawn got some good minutes, some good experience. But I thought Abdul had a good game. Abdul, you know, had a double-double and played really well in the second half. But again, foul trouble in the first half hurt us because he had 2 fouls and he only got to play, I want to say, 8 minutes in the first half, maybe 6 or 8. It wasn't enough. But you know, we try to learn from the game. We're going to watch some edits today. We had a good practice yesterday. You know, after, you know, a grueling trip where you go there, come back at late at night, and you got to be in school the next day. Now we're back in the school in session, routine, which changes. You know, I mean, we've been done out of school for, you know, a month plus, and now it's back to your normal routine and getting back to that routine and the time constraints and what it does to everybody.
What was it about Xavier's situation that changed?
You know, I'm not going to discuss anything about that other than I disciplined him for a game, and he had a good practice yesterday and came back with a good attitude, and so I was pleased with that.
I know the last few games you've talked about sharing the basketball, moving the basketball, you know, getting more than one pass on each possession. It seemed like that's something you still got to, have you continue to harp on that?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that yesterday, and we will again today. But the main thing is, you know, it's just taking good shots. You know, with 30 seconds, sometimes, you know, you'll get a good shot after 2 or 3 passes, but you've got to take good shots. And so, you know, we're going to watch film today before we practice. Our guys are going to learn. There's still very much a learn. But our passing, like yesterday in practice, we're going to watch some of yesterday's practice where we've got to be value the ball better and pass the ball better. One thing I thought we did do well at times against Florida was play inside out. I thought when we got the ball to Abdul, he did a great job finding people, getting it back out. We've got to play through him more and more and get him more experience, because he's not a terrible passer. He's a pretty good passer for a big guy. He's handling double teams, and so, you know, we've got to utilize him to get it in and get it back out. But our spacing is being able to move. When we pass, we're standing too much, and you just need to see it so you can learn it and get better at it.
Why do you think that hasn't changed? Like, you just attribute that to, like, the team being still young and...
Yeah, and I think it's just a constant learning process. I'll be honest with you. You know, my number one emphasis going this year is to become a good defensive team first and foremost. And I'm really excited about our defense. I was looking last night. We're 16th in the country. Ken Palm, defensive efficiency. We were 135 on offense. I mean, that's where our growth really needs to be. And we need to continue to prioritize our defense, obviously, because I think that's where you win night in, night out most. And that's what you go back to the last 2 games. I mean, we're up 9 with the ball with less than 8 minutes to play at Ole Miss, and take quick, ill-advised shots. And part of that was me, I think, not giving them a set where you got to use more time. But we got to be smarter in that too, in terms of understanding time and score and knowing to close out games on the road. And this league, again, is, in my opinion, top to bottom, the most difficult league, 1 through 14 in the country. I mean, they're talking about having 8 teams in. I keep reading it, as I'm watching everybody play. 8 out of 14 teams. And the most the SEC's ever got is 6. I mean, it's an incredibly difficult conference this year. And that says a lot about what the conference has emphasized in terms of men's basketball. Getting back to where, it's going to be tough sledding here.
Not surprised Brooks has his team playing well. What have you seen from Auburn this year?
Well, I'll tell you, very impressive Auburn. They're incredibly impressive just because they play so hard. I mean, they don't have a lot of size. They lead the league in block shots. They're an incredible offensive rebounding team. They start a 6'3", 240-pound four-man, Murray, who's just, tougher than, anybody. I mean, the guy is really impressive. Their guard play, the Harper and Brown in particular, have been super impressive. Mustafa Haran is having a great year. They're very unselfish. I mean, they're playing great basketball. You got to commend them for how hard they're playing, how well they execute offensively, how hard they play defensively. And they play 9 guys, and they're coming in and out, and they've won some close games.
You don't really have must-win games, I guess, in January, but I would think
every game is a must-win game.
The next couple of games at home, I would think you guys have to be really emphasized. I would say after the last
bottom line is our guys are excited to be at home. We're on a 2-game road trip, and those were our 3 true road games, third of the year, and then also we've had the one neutral site that was very difficult for us up in Jackson. So it's good to be back in the confines of home, and we're excited to be back here. But that doesn't make you win. You've got to go out and earn it, and so you're seeing that this is going to be. They won 13 in a row. I mean, I think there's one team that has won more games in a row. When I was listening, I'm not sure if that's still true, but they're either 1 or 2 longest streak in the country, and they're really playing good.
Hey, but if you look at the advanced numbers that you mentioned earlier, you could see like Nick Weatherspoon's on the floor a ton, but he's not really taking as many shots as other guys, and possessions aren't really ending one way or the other, whether good or bad with him. Do you want that to change at all?
Yeah, well, he's going to handle the ball more moving forward, so you'll see that.
What's that adjustment like then? Like, what do you sort of replace?
Well,
does that mean
I just think he's going to handle it more because I think he's making good decisions and in practice. We've got to get Q thinking more about scoring and less about handling the ball. So I think our 2 primary ball handlers now will be Nick and Lamar.
Would you play them both at the same time?
Yeah, we've been doing that. Yeah. In fact, that's a really good combination for us. Honestly, it's been good for us.
I know Nick was a 5-star recruit. I know you probably had pretty high expectations for him this year. What do you think you've gotten out of him so far this year?
Well, I think he's been incredible. I mean, talking about it, and thinking about it, I've been a head coach for this is my 22nd year, 17th at the high major level. I've never had a freshman guard that is better than him, more competitive or tougher defensively in my career. And I've coached 21 NBA players. And I can't say more about him and his competitiveness and his toughness and how hard and how he wants to do whatever you ask him to do. He'll go right through that window right there for you if you ask him to do it, head first, without question. And his toughness. I mean, he and Abdul have made us so much better defensively, and they're freshmen. They're playing an incredible amount of minutes.
With the change with Nick, was that designed to be at this point in the season, whereas like you didn't necessarily want to do that?
I think for offensive purposes, no, I wasn't designed to go through. I think offensively, for a number of reasons, I think it's going to be good for us.
Are you able to elaborate on why?
I think that getting Q out and looking. We're not advancing the ball enough off the floor, for example. When we get the ball, we've got to do a better job at moving the ball down. And the quickest way to get it up quickly is through the pass. So we got to get guys out running, and then getting a chance to finish in transition. And Q's probably our best guy at doing that. But we've got to get down there. And I think Nick, I think having the experience he's had under his belt now, I think this is going to be a good change for us and be good for him, his growth as a player.
I may have missed it earlier, when it first happened, but with Gerard no longer being on the team, I assume that opens up a scholarship for you guys?
Yeah.
How do you, I know you can't talk about specific players, but how do you plan to use that? What are you looking for?
We're recruiting. Actually, to be honest with you, it makes us even right now. We're always recruiting. We signed 3 kids, and we have 10 on scholarship right now. So you have 13 total.
With Nick handling the ball more, does that mean Q's able 3 more times than not with Tyson at 2?
Yeah, but our guards continue to. We're playing guys in and out of there. We're playing 5 guys on the perimeter and 4 guys inside right now. And one thing that's exciting is seeing his growth every day is that Keyshawn is making growth as a player. He made some freshman mistakes the other night. He did have, I think, 4 rebounds in his limited amount of time, and he's going to be a good player for us. For him, it's just experience. But I'm excited about how he's. I told our team after the loss Saturday in Oxford, we came back and had Sunday off, and then practiced Monday, and watched film and practice. Of the 10 scholarship guys that are out there, he was the most enthusiastic, most positive with his teammates. He's played 30 seconds in 2 games. And as a coach, I can't tell you how much that means to me, because you see who he's going to be right now, because of his work ethic. He's a great kid.
Just lastly on that Nick situation, what was the conversation with him about that? I assume you guys have.
Whatever you need, Coach. Same thing with Q. That's what we're doing. Is they're going to do whatever you ask them to do.
Is that it? As long as one of you